Hi guys, Everyday Knife Guy here, and welcome to what is going to be an extremely impromptu knife review. I'm actually out at work at the moment. As you can see, we're on the road here, just drinking our Tim Hortons, and picked this up at Canadian Tire. Cost about $50 US, taxes in. Never really been that intrigued by the Skyline, but I was just kind of in the mood to pick up a knife and try something a bit different. And it is a knife that people have raved about over the years and got into collecting. And it's a bit of a classic. This one is a Sandvik steel. So I figured I'd pick it up and we could do a quick on-the-road review here. So I apologise for any shaky camera and also the lighting conditions. It's sort of a medium sunny day, but pretty changeable, so I do apologise for that, and hopefully the audio is okay. As you can see, I've left it in the packet. I bought this just a short while ago, so I've left it in the package so we can see how it comes in this blister pack. Manual with flippers, you can see there, proudly made in the USA, which is always a nice touch for 50 bucks. And as I say, that's approximate in the US, it was 70 whatever in Canadian. You can see there, steel Sandvik 14C28M bead blasted finish, textured G10 handle, again not bad for the money. 3.1 inch blade and close 4.25 inches. Warranty information on the bottom here, limited lifetime warranty. Kershaw products are covered by a limited lifetime warranty. Please see our website, blah blah blah. And made in USA, that's about it. So I'm going to pause the video here and open up the blister pack and we can have a look at it. Just before I do that, here comes the sun to play with my lighting. Just before you do that, you can probably see there that we're right in the middle of the lock bar. Of course, this is a liner lock blade, right in the middle of the lock bar, so that looks okay. I'd like it to be a little earlier, but that's quite a promising sign. We'll see how the centering is and stuff once I open it up. So I'm going to pause and do that right now. Okay, so literally just taking out the pack, guys. Haven't even closed it yet. I'll just show it off a little bit. The Kershaw Skyline is a design that I think pretty much everyone who is even slightly into knives is pretty familiar with. It's a very popular, very common knife, really, for those who are looking for something just above that kind of basic Kershaw entry level. This is a flipper knife, of course. And yeah, it's not really a design that's ever appealed to me that much, to be quite honest. I'm going to adjust my camera here and try and get better lighting for you guys. Very simple, flat-sided G10 scales. You can see stainless steel liner there on one side only. Pocket clip is mounted and tipped down. That is reversible. Hopefully you guys can see the black G10's kind of eating up my light here. Hopefully you guys can see the holes at the back there for reversing that pocket clip. And I think it's only, yeah, it's right side carry only, or right-handed carry only rather, so that's a little bit of a drawback, but it is changeable for tip up, tip down. You can see a little bit of jimping on the liner lock there. As I say, as we looked at just before I opened the package, hopefully you can tell, yeah, the lock up there, really not too bad. A little short of 50%, well, full engagement of the lock bar, I would guess you could say. One thing I did notice as soon as I took it out is the pocket clip has almost got kind of a black oxidized look to it, and it does look kind of scratched up already. I guess that's just for being in the packaging. It is a little bit marked up. You're going to hear some traffic noise here as well, guys, sorry. As you can see, it's, if I go ahead and disengage the lock bar here, sorry, it's not focusing very well. If I disengage the lock bar, we can push that closed. Feels quite nice and smooth. Centering when closed. Let's see if I can get this to focus for you guys, I apologise. Centering when closed, yep, is pretty much bang in the middle, so that's always a good start. You can see there, quite a narrow fit, I guess, really in the handle. Very slim knife in the hand for sure. How is deployment? Let's see. So first flick, I'm going to try push button. Yep, came out, engaged the lock, but it didn't exactly fly out. Yep, not too bad. Let's try light switch. Oh yeah, that's a little better. So a bit of a vigorous light switch certainly gets it flying out there, and it's a nice looking blade. I'm not skin the handle, but the blade itself I have no issues with. Hollow ground there, looks like, I think. Yeah, it is. Hollow ground up to, you can see kind of 3/4 of the blade. Looks like it would be perfect for a lot of EDC tasks. We're actually going to test the sharpness just in a little minute here on a ripe tomato. I'm filming one hand here, so I can't do any hair shaving tests or anything for you guys, but it does feel reasonably sharp. Let's see, on this side it says made in USA, Kai, and the model number, which is, if it'll focus, 1760. think 1760X, I think it said on the package. And I know that they do this knife in different steels. This is the Sandvik variant, which is supposed to be pretty good steel, from what I've read, just above kind of that entry level 14 8CR 14 LV or whatever as they call it, the basic entry Kershaw steel, but maybe a little bit below kind of VG10, somewhere in that OS 8 or slightly above area. It takes a very good edge, very easy to sharpen, and very keen edge, but edge retention is probably not going to be awesome on this knife. But for the money, a good EDC knife if you're an occasional user, because it's going to stay sharp. Well, sorry, not stay sharp, it's going to be very sharp to use. You may just have to touch it up a little bit. Now, when deployed, you can see these little blade stops here. You can see, if I can get this to focus, blade stops here come into these little notches in the front of the G10 handle and the liner. But if I disengage that, I can actually use that, I think, as a thumb stud, can I? Yeah, maybe not to flick it open, but to open it manually, you could probably use that as a thumb stud. There we go. Makes quite a nice sound on engagement. Let's listen to that again. Quite a nice little snap. Not too solid because it is a pretty lightweight knife. So you're not going to get any huge thunk as that liner lock engages, but you can see there, after just a couple of flips, that's starting to flip really nicely. And that's one of the reasons why this knife is so popular. I think it's a really nice little flipper to play with. It's very lightweight, very slim in the pocket, and you have a very usable EDC tool. You can see there's solid backspacer, which I think must also be G10. And actually looks quite nice, I think, in profile with that one stainless steel liner. I think that's really quite a nice look, and check the centering there again. Everything looking good. I'd like to change that pocket clip to tip up, just because that's my preference. Push button, not really such a positive flip, but on the light switch, definitely very, very nice indeed. That's working in quite well already. So I'm out on the road, as I said, but usually, you know how I am, I have a couple of knives with me, but the only size comparisons I have today are really not very relevant, I don't think, but we'll put them down anyway. So I have my Manix 2, which basically never leaves my work vehicle. You can see, if I can come over the top, the Manix quite a bit larger, much broader blade, of course. In terms of actual cutting length, I'm trying to look through my camera and also look at this, guys. In terms of actual cutting length, the fraction hair length more on the Kershaw, I guess. I can't remember off the top of my head what the cutting edge is in the Manix. Now, a less relevant comparison would be the other latest knife I bought, which is Spyderco Techno, excuse me. Review coming on that soon. Of course, just a 2.5 inch blade on that. So the Skyline, really much longer knife, but just to give you an idea. Now, one thing that might be relevant here would be to look at thickness. Let's see if we can line these up so that they sit. Oops, nothing wants to balance here. I might just have to hold these for you guys. I thought it would be good to see the thickness of this compared to the likes of the Techno, which obviously is very stubby, very thick knife. Let's put these two side by side. Just to give you an idea of how these would carry in the pocket. I mean, look at the thickness difference there. At least 50% more on the Techno. Just have a quick look at the Manix 2, seeing as that's a knife that probably more of you would be likely to own, to compare yourself. Yeah, the Manix 2, pretty much the same deal, much thicker blade. So this looks like a really nice slim pocket carry. Hasn't been in my pocket yet, of course, but in dimensions it reminds me a lot of my CRKT Ripple, which is again another nice little flipper knife. A lot of fun to play with, very nice slicer for EDC, and just looking at the profile of it and how thin it is with a flat-sided G10, I think that would carry very much the same in pocket. So it's deep into your pocket, but it's nice and thin, so you're really not going to notice it too much when you're sitting down or when you're driving, whether it's front pocket or back pocket your jeans, whichever. Do a couple more flips there. So if I disengage the lock and give it a little shake, yeah, there's not a lot of weight in the blade to close it up. So really you are looking at pushing it closed with your finger, but that's not really a big deal. I personally quite like to shake a knife closed, but also quite happy to feel that. And that's a very nice smooth pivot. This must just be on washers. It looks like phosphor bronze washers in there. I don't know if you guys can see, I can hardly see myself looking through the camera. It's probably not going to focus. Yeah, I can see a little hint of a bronze colour in there. So I think this is from phosphor bronze. I really should have checked that first, I apologise. But yeah, so overall impressions straight out the box are really good actually. Still not sold on that handle design. but overall pretty pleased with that for the money. Now let's do a little sharpness test here, and again filming with one hand here guys, so please bear with me, I'm doing the best I can. As you can see, my lunch today, part of it at least, consists of a very overripe tomato, almost the point that I would reject this, but should be quite tasty because it is nice and ripe. And so we're going to go ahead, that side almost too ripe, but it should make for a good sharpness test on this. And with one hand we'll put it core side down so it kind of sits on this tray, and let's just see what we can do with this. Obviously there's going to be no fine slicing here. I'm going to try and just split this in half if I can. I might just need to help it get started. Okay, so we're now into the tomato, as you can see. Just a bit of gentle pressure there. Not too bad at all. So under its own weight, well, not under its own weight, under the, well, just, you know what I'm trying to say. I'm going to try and slice through this tomato a couple more times. Really not putting a lot of effort into that there, so I'd say initial sharpness really quite good considering just how ripe this is. So I'm not going to press down at all really here, I'm just going to slide the knife back and forth, and that's literally pretty much under its own weight there. And you can see it's dicing that up no problem, so pretty impressive there. My Manix 2 I keep fairly sharp, but I know my Techno, after a couple of weeks of use, wouldn't be doing that right now, so quite pleased with that. And as I say, it is designed to be a little slicing blade. You can see that by the profile of the knife there, and a little bit of tomato debris on there. I apologise for that. So overall guys, impressions are pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and change the pod clip round in a minute here, and also probably use this to eat the rest of my lunch. I'm not going to close it up until I clean it, because there's just, you know, just making more work for myself. But there it is guys, that's my initial review on the Kershaw Skyline. You'll probably see this featured in one of my EDC videos, and at that point I'll be able to give you a bit more info on how it's been working out for me and how much I like it or what I don't like about it. In the meantime, first impressions are very good, I think. I will leave a link in the description if you want to check this out on Amazon. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Cheers. A little bit of bonus footage for you guys. Sitting here eating my lunch after filming that video. And I should add, very impressed with the slicing. Once I had two hands to actually cut up that tomato, it made very short work of it. Slicing ability is great. In fact, it's also really good at slicing your finger, which I found about 20 seconds later. So there we have guys, it's been out the pack under 10 minutes and it's already drawn first blood, so what more can you ask from a modern folding knife than that, really? Just thought I'd give you an update. Have a good one. Cheers. Sorry guys, but just two more quick updates. I thought to try the hair cutting test, and yeah, the Skyline has no issues popping hair with the factory edge, that's for sure. And also, I've been playing with this for around about half an hour now maybe, so a few flips happened already. Shaking shut no problem, which was something I commented on earlier. Oops, if I can get past that detent. The detent is actually nice and solid. That's another thing I forgot to mention earlier. If you give it a good whack, it's not going to fly out by mistake. You can see the flipping gets better and better. Push button, light switch, really flying out now, and yeah, just getting better and better. So I thought I should comment on that, because one thing I didn't really bear in mind was I was maybe being a little bit harsh on its flipping performance, given that it was just straight out of the blister pack, but absolutely no issues right now, I'll tell you that. As I say, it is shaking shut, as you can hear and see. And also ergonomics, the more I hold it, the more I use it, the more I like the handle. It's all function. It may not be pretty, but it's all function, because that finger choil there with the liner lock just locks you right in. The kind of the, sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? The swoop of the handle and the way that it pares down to this narrower point at the butt here means that your hand kind of naturally sits tilted forward, if that makes sense. So your finger in the finger choil, your hand tilted forward, your thumb just naturally rests there right on the back of the stop pins, and that makes for a really nice hold. Reverse grip, your thumb lands on the butt of the knife there, pretty comfortable as well. But obviously in EDC you're going to mostly be using it like this or in a pinch grip, but in this hammer grip here, very nice. And as I say, the swell at the front here and the tapering of the handle makes for a really nice hold. So just thought I'd add a couple more points there to give it a fair review. Do let me know in the comments if you own one of these or have owned one of these, what your thoughts were. If you got rid of it, why did you do so? If you own it, why are you keeping it and what do you like about it? Let me know in the comments, let's get some discussion going. Thanks for sticking around for a very disjointed video. Have a great day, cheers.